That's Jack Johnson, and that's Benji.
Talking into the fan?
Stopping the fan with their tongues. Like, think of how different the world would be. Like, if Jack Johnson lost his fucking tip of his tongue on a fan, it'd be a whole I would have been there and been like, oh, the Jack Johnson who? The fucking surfer? It wouldn't be the music guy.
How is it out there?
A couple of fun ones.
Couple of fun ones.
Okay, dude. Hey, very good. Gotta get you some coffee, dude.
I know. Load it up.
Coffee for everybody. Dude, that smells fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good. Which cover is this?
That was I won a Browning.
Oh, Browning.
That Balzer shot, like, God, 96 or something.
So sick.
Yeah, this week was like kind of a heavy week. I was like, we saw the new Mandalorian movie.
Oh, yeah?
So I was thinking of Greg, like, with Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And then the contest wrapped up in New Zealand, and Carissa won it. And then she gave credit to, I wanted to say, this is for Greg Browning. Yeah. And I was like, I had so much Browning vibes that those, like, 2 days, I got super emotional. I was like, man, like, he should be here,
Yeah.
Because it just was like, he affected so many people. And just even, like, he was the first guy I could nerd out about Star Wars. Like, when I met him in 94, 95 or whatever, like, I forgot what he had. He had some Star Wars shirt. I'm like, no way. And that's how we got to be friends. It wasn't surfing, like, whatever. It was like Star Wars nerd shit. And I always loved that guy. He was always super cool to talk to anybody about,
I love that.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him?
So there was a little place called Bandwagon. I was out in Sorrento Valley. And Bandwagon was like those 90s clothes, dude, like giant shorts below the knee.
Yeah.
Oversized shirts. You'd wear 2 at a time, that kind of shit. Anyway, Bandwagon was sort of the hub where a lot of our friends worked. And next door, Boysen was shaping surfboards. Like Rocket from the Crypt had their practice room in the back. And I think Foundation Skateboards was there originally. Anyway, across the alley, Taylor Steele rented his first little place to edit videos and stuff. And then they started 17 Clothing there. And then, Xanadu was out there, Sector 9, a whole bunch of people. So we would go to Sorrento Valley, like, just to play basketball. And you met everyone out there. So, like, you'd show up one afternoon, and it'd be Conan Hayes, Shane Dorian, Browning, seeing Taylor.
That's great.
But then we'd all end up playing basketball, and we were all the same age, and we're all like, no one was famous yet or anything. So we just all kind of hung out and played basketball and shoot the breeze and just talk about life. And, when you're 20-something trying to figure out what to do, it was cool. It was like a really neat little nucleus of like young 20-something just trying to figure it out. It was one of those things that when you think of like the mid-90s, you think of like the big brands, but there was this whole under thing of all these young guys trying new brands and new stuff. And that was what was cool about that time. I think it's like when things are authentic and people make things to fit a certain whatever it is, you'll find your people who will come to it. If it's clothing, if it's coffee, if it's surfboards, it's not for everybody, but it's that little thing that you're doing your way, which is neat. Like, dude, my shop thing was kind of the same thing. I'm like, I don't know fucking what is current and cool now. I mean, we watch the contest, and we're in Fantasy Surfer, and we know who's doing what, and I know what boards are gonna do. But what am I gonna do differently than the best surf shops in town selling the same stuff?
Right.
They gotta figure it out. So for me, I wanted to sell stuff that I ride from shapers that I know, people that I like and respect. There's a good vibe to it, and I could get really nerd out into that sect. And it's like niche and niche and niche, so there's never gonna be a ton of business. Yeah. But I like it. Yeah. And it's fun to share that when someone gets it. You're like, oh, like.
And you can tell, like when you go to your site, it's you, and it's like, and it's the stuff you're into, and it's like, and it's all really relevant to that and really cool. Yeah, and
I'm not for everybody, and there's plenty of people who don't like those boards or like me, and that's fine. There's room for everybody to do their trip. Yeah. I just was like, when I wanted to do that shop, I was coming off my health stuff, and I just was like, what can I do that I know and I can't really like fudge up because there's no room for error. I know what I'm doing. It just was like this little niche, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna build a website. I can't afford a brick and mortar like my old skate shop days. And I was like, I'm just gonna like see how it goes. And it was such a nice response. Like people were like, wow, it looks different. It feels a little different. So that's, I think, the stuff that kind of before the pandemic, before the stroke, it's weird how life goes in these different seasons of whatever's going on, but how you change and adapt. And after all that stuff, it was just, I didn't have the same interest in chasing whatever it was, the cool guy stuff, you know. It just was like, man, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And if I could sell surfboards to surf people that I want to deal with and they want to deal with me, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, you know, loving surfing and the craft of surfboards is not loving the surf industry. And that's one thing, being in the surf and skate industry for so long, you start to not like it just because it's like those people that have infiltrated it really aren't surfers and skateboarders.
Yeah.
And they kind of take what you loved and start manipulating it to look different and feel different. And it's like, God, I love that so much. Like I wanted this to be my life. And I got here and all you people just want a paycheck and you don't really give a shit about the thing. You know, it's like Tommy Boy with the, I love it so much, and he destroys the things. Oh, it's like watching that happening. Like, God, I loved it so much. It's just getting wrecked. And so when I took a break from it for a long time, and when I came back to it, it was more of what do I like about this stuff? It's the surfboard shapers. It's the people behind the scenes. It's talking about surfboards and what they're made to do, the intent behind it, like actually craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved. And that's like, oh, if I could do that, I'm way happier than putting on a big skate event somewhere, whatever, you know, like that was cool, but that's a young guy's thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the same. It's like, there's nothing I like more than just nerding out on surfboards with a craftsman.
Yeah, gosh, dude, like to me, you know what it was too? It was like surfboard factories and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're making the thing that brings you all this joy.
Yeah.
They know how to do it. I'm getting so much joy out of this, but you know how to make that. You're like a fucking wizard or something, you know? Like all those parts of the recipe going into this thing that brings so much joy. And they were all the grumpiest fucking dudes and all that stuff, but it was like, when you got to a surfboard factory behind the doors and got to see it all, it was like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like seeing like how the sausage gets made. You're like, whoa, this is gnarly, it's different. But that was always to me the highest, like, those are the people at the top.
Yeah.
Surfboard builders. And for some, I don't know how it changed to where it was like clothing manufacturers and all this bullshit got to be top of the heap. And you're like, the guys making your stuff are now the least thought of.
Yeah.
It never sat right with me. I was on Tavarua in 2019 and I used to have a skate shop called Hangar 18. It was like a neat little shop and, you know, kind of in that 97 till 2003 range or whatever. And we did the skate park and all these neat things. But I'm on the island, I have an old Hangar 18 sticker on my surfboard. Just, I don't know, I found one, I just put it on my board. And we're sitting there and Donovan had brought like a bunch of dudes from Kauai, like kind of a lot of loaded guys. And one guy's like, oh no way, Hangar 18. I love that shop. And I'm like, what? How do you even know about that shop? Like that was my skate shop. He goes, no way. Yeah. I went to Point Loma. I would go there. I loved your shop. And I'm like, well, you know, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I was like the first guy at Uber. And it was this dude who sold like for $1 billion. Like he was like, became the first driver that became like the CEO or whatever. And when they sold, he made all the money.
No kidding.
And I was like, what? Like such a weird opposites of life. Like you did everything smart and made tons of money. I made no money in the skate shop. But it was neat that someone of that stature was like, dude, your shop meant something.
Yeah.
And that was what was really cool. And it kind of always comes back to it. Like, you know, it's not about the money. It's about doing things that you love and then other people see it and maybe it changes their lives a little bit. And when you hear about it later, it's the best thing. Because you're like, all those years, I felt like I was stepping on my dick, like wasting time, like not doing anything that anyone cared about. Because it's like, you didn't make money at it.
Yeah.
But then you realize it's not about money because there's these other things that change people's lives. Just having a safe spot to hang, like we all did at the surf shop when you were a kid, or whatever you provide to them. And you're like, man, that's the point. Like the scene, like making a scene of something. Like, you know, again, it's not for everybody. Not everyone's gonna like how you do it, but it's like, if you try your best with it, like it leaves an impression with some.
Totally.
And that's something, like, I don't know. And that's what all these projects are, I think, your thing, my thing. It's really fun to do it just to show people like, you don't, like, just do stuff you like.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can find a way through it. Like, yeah. Our time is limited, and especially the last good years of you surfing are limited and all this stuff. It's all about having fun. Like, we're just trying to go have fun, man. Like, you're not ripping. We're not 22 trying to fucking win the WSA. We just want to go have fun, catch 4 waves and have a good time and come in happy and be better than we were when we went out.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can find the boards that help you achieve that, like that's the goal. And you have a few of them, right? You should have 5 or 6 boards if you want to surf every day or whatever.
Right.
But it's sort of like changing your mindset of like, okay, what was my thing I was chasing? How do I morph that into now? And it's like, there's killer like 7-foot boards that you can still rip on or whatever. It's just getting people to finally like, all right, lose the 6'2" bump squash.
Yeah.
get into something a little longer, and just have fun. And you could still find your way back home to ripping. It's just different. We spent so many of our 20s and 30s trying to look a certain way or, surf like your hero or whatever it is. And when you get older, it's neat. With music, same thing. You just play what you want to play. You surf how you want to surf. And it's who you are then, you know. And you got to play up to that. Like, we all think we're 15 pounds lighter, and we all think we're way more handsome or beautiful, like in our heads. Yeah. But when you go surfing, there's no lying. It's like, that's my ability now. Yeah. And what do I need? Yeah. I need more foam. I need more width. I want to go fast. I got to have a board that does that, and a shortboard isn't it for us anymore. There's so many cool options if you're just open to it. You know? And luckily, like when Kern rode that fish at J Bay in the mid-90s, people started looking different at those shapes, and then now it's become like you could ride anything. No one cares anymore. Yeah. But back then it was very much like if you rode something different, like you heard about it. Yeah. So it's a cool time to be a surfer. Like you could ride any board and any waves. No one cares. Like in my head, I see an Aki rounded pin Rusty, and it's like the most beautiful surfboard in the world. Yeah. And it's like that era was so fun to surf those. And it's like, I can never do that again. Like I'm glad I had it. And now what's that version look like for me now? And it's 7.4, and it's still a round tail, but it's really thick and wide. But it's like the experience, the ride experience is different than the look experience, Yeah. So it's kind of like once you get past that, like there's so much fun stuff to surf right now. It's just really lowering the expectation of what you want to do. Yeah. If it's just like, okay, I want to experience what the wave's going to provide today and what the board is going to do, and I'm going to play to that instead of like forcing your will upon it, like on a shortboard, how we would. Yeah. It's really fun. It's a really fun way to go surfing now, So that's what I like. What I do. It's like older guys or people like trying to like experiment with a different board. Like I have the experience now over 40 years of like, oh, I've ridden all those Skip Frye type shapes and San Diego shapes. So if you're coming off a shortboard or a log, these are these different boards that you don't know how they work, and I can kind of tell you about it. And that's the fun part, Yeah. Because it's like we were hip to that for a long time. Just by our distance to Bird and his collection of boards, working for him and having access to all those boards. And then Skip Frye was shaping next door. So it's like we would see him riding all these different boards. And again, I'm a 6'1" bump squash shortboard kid of the 80s. But when it was small, you couldn't surf. And you're seeing Skip pal out on a big egg and having fun. And again, we were just right there, so we could get him at a good price, or we could borrow Bird's boards. So we really got to feel all these funky boards that were forgotten about in the mid 80s. I didn't know it was going to pay dividends now of like all those years of getting boards from Skip and surfing those boards through the different eras while I was still shortboarding. To be able to like now speak to it, like, I know how you would normally surf, but this is what this can do for you. And when people come back to me like, it did everything you said it was going to do, I get so stoked. Yeah. Because it's like, great, you're getting the exact experience I hope you would out of it, and now it's going to change your surfing in these certain waves. Yeah. And that's the joy of like that. I felt really lucky just to have all that experience of different stuff, And now it's so fun to share that, because there's so many people who grew up in the molded board era or softboard era. Right. Or adult beginners that just never knew any of that stuff. Yeah. So I guess it's weird. What was once a curse is now like a little blessing. Yeah. Yeah. Old photos. I don't know, man. I don't know where to start, but I got a bunch.
Let's just see what shows up.
Gosh, there's Mike V and Nadas in my skate shop.
That was like a demo day or something?
There's me in the skate shop back in the day.
Yes.
And that's not even my skate shop. What the fuck is that? I don't know. I'm at somebody's desk somewhere. That's John Carper's house. Like I stayed there one winter, and he had some boards on the wall. Like I think that's Shano's. I don't know, OP maybe Chesser. Like that could be. He was on OP for a little bit. So we just talked about how Mark Johnson passed away yesterday. Yeah. So there's Mark Johnson and Ed Templeton, like at an autograph signing in the shop. This is when we were building Washington Street Skate Park. Like this is the first thing that was going in, the first box. That's me and this guy Phil Lyson. And I never knew this guy's last name, but we called him Heavy Metal Chris. He was sick. But yeah, and that's Glenn, one of the guys who started the park. That's his truck. So we would basically like fill his truck with that dirt from that hill. Yeah. Back it up and then fill in the blocks.
Awesome.
And that became the first flat bar across there, and what the park is now. It's gnarly. Yeah. I used to take like water photos a long time ago. That's Justin Poston down at Jamaica Court back in like 80 whatever. Yes. Look, I couldn't focus. It was one of those like yellow fucking Kodak cameras. Yeah. That's me surfing, like probably one of my first sharp eyes. Like Marcio was doing ding repair at Roper's. Nice. And he was starting to make surfboards. And so I had Marcio make me a 6'6", like that was my shortboard at the time. That board was magical. So good.
Marcio started Rovers?
Yeah, he was a ding repair guy.
No way.
So yeah, before Sharp Eye was really even a label,
Yeah.
he was doing ding repair. Him, Michael Miller, and Chris Ruddy. They're all surfboard shapers now. But Marcio was so cool. Like I always liked the guy, the nicest dude. And people were shitty to him. This is so. Here's he was Brazilian,
right?
And at that time, people didn't like Brazilians anywhere,
right?
Really. And so here's this Brazilian guy working in San Diego, making some really dope shortboards. But every shop wouldn't sell them because it was like, fuck, backyard shaper, Brazilian. It was insane because Marcio is literally one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Still is. And I was like kind of tripped out. So I remember ordering one. I got it. I love that board. And I was working for Bird when he sold to South Coast. So South Coast bought the shop. And the first thing that the owner said was like, you got to get off that fucking backyard shit. You got to ride our boards. And I was like, what? Like, this is surfing, dude. Like, I'm not riding your...
Yeah.
This is my friend. And that was like right out of the gate, we had like a full beef with the new owners. And I kind of, after like a year, I was like, I can't work here anymore. Just because it was like not the surf shop I grew up in.
Right.
It was not corporate, it just was running a business. Yeah. But for me, it was like guys like Marcio, who were just starting. Now you see where he's at. He's like the world's renowned shaper. But dude, that was what he started at. Like just getting shit from like local shops.
Crazy.
So for me, it was like, I loved riding his boards back then because it just was like a fuck you to like a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Hence back to what we're talking about. Like we're trying to do our own thing.
Yeah.
With all these different people. Like Chris Borst was making me some boards back then and him. But it took everyone decades before they got on board. And you're like, why is the surf industry like that?
Thank God they stuck with it and didn't cave into just
and
ridicule.
And become the guys. Like, you'll still see Marcio at the cliffs. He's still the nicest guy. Borst is still the best dude. This is my one-year demo. This is like Dan Byers, who became like a captain in the Green Beret. He rode for my skate shop. My Duke, fucking...
I think I still have a few of those,
I totally forgot I had. I just found these I was just going through here. That's Chris Markovich, the pro skateboarder. He used to ride for my skate shop. I think we were going to the World Series that night. So like 97 or something. So before Bird had the shed, working in that surf shop that I was at, these are the same thing that you were doing then. So this is 1987. All the boards hanging on the roof of Windansea Beach and Surf are now hanging up at Bird Shed. So
awesome.
Way before anything. That's Matt Hensley, like one of the most iconic skaters ever.
Yeah.
He rode for my shop. That's his son Oliver. I had my first website, so I'm like, hey, I need a shot for the website. Yeah. So I went to his house to shoot that photo. But
his brother is Dropkick Murphys?
No, his brother, he was in Flogging Molly.
That's what it was.
And his brother's actually a fireman, like a gnarly fireman.
Okay, that's right. So him himself, he was in Flogging Molly.
He's the accordion player and icon, dude. He was the guy that cargo shorts were because of Matt Hensley. Chain wallets because of Matt Hensley. Like that dude changed everything. Like so Matt to me was like, again in skating, like Tom Curran in surf, like Hensley was sort of that in skate. Like he just was the coolest. He, different upbringing, but his skating was like no one else. And he's still the coolest guy. Like,
Rad.
Yeah. And I found this postcard, Cairo Foster, like back before emails and stuff, you'd get postcards.
Yeah.
And so I just saved it this is crazy. Like this is how we used to communicate. 2001. So right before, the internet.
Yeah.
This is when I was a boatman in Tavarua. That's me driving the boat.
I love it. What year would that be?
95. And we went to Malolo for like an afternoon and got hamburgers or something. It was kind of like no one was on the island, so we just went over there, but I remember that. And there's Jason Weatherley at their house at Pipeline. That's like Halloween night. We didn't have outfits. So we dressed up as trash bags. And at the V-Land apartments, like the legendary Halloween parties used to go down. And if you ever were there in the 80s or 90s, like the V-Land apartments were fucking sketchy. Like Big Mokes lived there. It was just kind of gnarly. Yeah. So we all dressed up as these trash bags. It was like Benji, Jack Johnson, me, him, a couple other local kids. But we all get there. We're across Cam Highway from the apartments dressed as trash bags. And everyone went full on at those parties. Like people dressed up as basketball teams. It was a big deal in the North Shore to dress up for this party. It was Rarick's party.
Okay.
And we showed up as trash bags. And they were kids, dude. They were like 9th and 10th grade. I had just graduated. But I'm like, you guys want to go in? And we're like, no. Like we fully haired out, and so we went back to like Sunset Elementary, played tennis, and shot hoops. Again, that first trip, that's me swimming through a cave at Pipeline. There's Benji swimming through a cave at Pipeline. But it was like, it was so neat back then. Like he was in 9th grade. Him and Jack were like just 14 or something, and I had just graduated high school. I was 18. So it just was like, you go to Hawaii. That's what you did back in the day.
Yeah.
Skate shop, that's Nadas and Mike V just in front of my shop having a taco. And like two of the most iconic skaters to ever live.
Yeah.
And just for me, it was so full circle. Like when I was a kid, there was a surf movie called Amazing Surf Stories.
Yeah.
And Scott Dietrich put Nautilus's part from Wheels of Fire in that surf movie. And so when his part came on, there was the fire sound, and then Nautilus's name came up, and then all of his skating, like the wall rides down the alley. He was doing the board slide on the dumpster. Anyway, the part, like, people fucking freaked out.
Right.
But for me, it was like, oh, skating is sick. So that was like the first part that really got me looking at skateboarding. Besides Animal Chin, like, dude, this is different. So when I had my skate shop, the full circle thing was like having him and Mike V in my shop.
That's cool.
Was huge, you know. Yeah, more boards from Bird's old stash. You know, the Hinsons 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Again, my 1-year demo when I had my skate shop. This is like, you know, peak 1997.
You had a good lot.
This was next door. So this was now it's a giant bakery and building in Mission Hills. But at the time it was just a pay lot. And my shop was around the corner. And so at the time too, like this is, you know, 97, 98, I guess. Skating was super small, dude. Like Cairo Foster, Brian Anderson, all these guys came down on a bus from SF just to skate the demo. Like,
wow.
Like, dude, I was nobody, man. Like, I wasn't Pacific Driver or nothing. I was just a little shop.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of action. So if shops had demos, people showed up. And so this was like the sickest. Adrian Lopez, Hensley, Sal Barbier, like all these dudes showed up to the demo. It was such a cool time in skating, you know? It's before things got a little jaded and all that.
Yeah.
This is a classic, Benji's House. So this is the next year. This is 90. That's Jack Johnson, and that's Benji.
Talking into the fan?
Stopping the fan with their tongues. Like, think of how different the world would be. Like, if Jack Johnson lost his fucking tip of his tongue on a fan, it'd be a whole I would have been there and been like, oh, the Jack Johnson who? The fucking surfer? It wouldn't be the music guy. So that is like crazy unknown shit right there. This is what the 80s in a surf shop looked like. Neon pink. This is local hero Johnny Jacobs, who was like our poor man's Aki. This is Phil Castagnola, whose dad owned Select Surf Shop, which was like the original blueprint for all surf shops today. And that's Jason Weatherley. And I think that is Chris Baglini in the background. But yeah, Jason and Phil were like, you know, 9th grade, right? This is right before I think Jason moved to Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah. Benji's old house, just view from his porch with the rainbow and the old satellite dish. This is Bobby Ducharme, who got paralyzed surfing Coronado.
Right.
But he's a kid here. And that's Joe Roper's daughter, Samantha, a little kid. But that's what the outside of Windansea Beach and Surf looked like before South Coast moved in. So that's that shop.
Cool.
That's Pat Melcher, who back in the day was on Enemy Skateboards. He owns a shop up in LA now. Kingswell Feliz, I think it's called. This is in Lopez's house, right next to Benji's house. So a few years later, I stayed here. This is Takuji Masuda, who made that movie about bunker spreckles.
Right.
And that's Colin McPhillips, the old longboard world champ guy, and a surfer from Japan named Davey Chung. But I stayed here. I shot that Carper photo.
Yeah.
And I showed up and I had a tattoo, or I don't know what it was, but Carper didn't want me staying with him. So like after like 4 days, he asked me to leave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super weird. Like he was making my boards. He made my boards at Rusty's. And so I stayed at his house, and it just was, I think I wanted to go to a Halloween. I don't know what it is, dude. I don't want it to sound weird.
Yeah.
But just he didn't want me there.
Yeah.
And it just, relationship changed or whatever was going on in his life. But he told me to leave. And that's when you would go to the North Shore with like $200 and stay for a month.
Right.
So I had nowhere to stay. And I was like, holy shit. So I didn't know what to do. I took the bus. He lived in Mokalea, and I took the bus to Pipeline because I knew where Benji's house was.
Yeah.
By that time, Benji's was like fucking high profile, dude. I'm not staying there. That's like top dudes.
Floor space is full.
Yeah, by like real rad dudes. And I was like, fuck, what do I do? So I just left my shit at their house, and I surfed off the wall lefts. And I saw Joel Tudor, and we knew each other from here. And Joel was all of, I don't know, 17, 16 or something. He was a kid. And I'm like, dude, where are you staying? Like, I have nowhere to stay. And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm staying there. And he like points to the Lopez house. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're staying there? Like 3rd floor, you know? I'm like, come on, dude, please. This guy Takuji's renting it. Like, I don't think he can just stay for free. He's paying a lot of money. I didn't know Takuji at all. So I'm like, come on, please help me, Joel, whatever. This is when Joel was a kid. He was rad. And he took me in and talks to Takuji. And Tak's like, so what's your deal? Like, really, you know, who are you?
Standoffish.
And I'm like, dude, I just need, I'll stay in Joel's room. I'll sleep on his couch. We did a trade. I stayed for 2 weeks, and I was the housekeeper.
Oh, killer.
So I got to clean the house every night and do the dishes. And like, dude, they had piles of weed. Like Joel and Dina Miranda were just smoking bales of weed. And I would, in the morning, clean up and put it back. But that's how I got to stay in that house. Like, I wasn't rad. I just was like, fuck, please help me. And Joel helped me, and that's how I met those guys.
That's great.
And it was epic. Like, we were right at Pipeline, and like, dude, there's some days that were just insane. This is my friend Terry, who works, I think, for, what's that sunglass company in PB? Blenders, yeah. I think he's their marketing director now, but I met him in Tavarua in '08, and that was like my first time being back there since I almost died, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun trip. That's me on the first trip. So that's me in '95 with a lady named Sala.
And that was when the meningitis, when you almost died?
Yeah, this is right before I got sick, but it was like, just a young buck.
Yeah.
13 years later, that's that shot. So
that's so cool that they're side by side there.
Yeah, it was really fun to kind of go back. And that's just Tavarua back in the day before it was a big resort. It was just like a little surf camp. And, showed the fish they all caught. That's Weiss, this guy Joe, CT. He just passed away. I don't know where he is, and he still works on the island.
So this is like after Roseman bought it, but before?
Yeah, this is Roseman. So he was a boatman there, or like one of the OG boatmen, and it was Scott Funk and God, the other guy, I forget his name real quick. But yeah, they were the owners, and then being boatman there, John was one of the OGs, and this other guy, Rick Isabel. And so they had the opportunity to kind of buy into the island when these guys were like, all right, if you guys want to do more, like we're kind of tapped out.
Yeah.
So John's dad was a doctor, and he borrowed some money, and he bought in, and then Rick Isabel bought the other part. So Scott Funk and the other owner are still like Dave Clark. They're still there. They have houses there. They're still part owners, but it was John and Rick who really
developed it into what it is.
Yeah, which love it or hate it. I mean, I loved what the old camp was because it was so raw.
Yeah.
But now it's a different day and age. It's a real nice resort, and it's top-end food and all this stuff. But back then it was rough. Like, we had a V8 engine that ran the island, and so the power was out by 10. There's one bathroom, so where if you went in the morning too late, like Druku would be in there taking a shit and just blowing it up. You're like, oh no, like what a nightmare, And then you had to collect rainwater for your shower. Like, it just was different. It was super like Robinson Crusoe.
Fun,
dude. And it was private, so you go surf with nobody. Like you go to Cloud Break with 6 dudes.
Yeah.
It was magical. Like it's something I'll never be able to recapture. Yeah. But you go down, you can still get uncrowded days, but it just was like that time was just magic.
Yeah.
If you ever grew up seeing, hearing about Benji's house, this kind of shows you a little bit of it. Like, that's the view from Benji's porch back in the day. And you can just see how much sand there is. There's no fucking crowd. The jet ski pulled all the way up. Like, it just was different. There was no one there. It was really, I would go October 15th to like November 15th. So that's been a month.
Yeah.
Pre-season, it was before the contest and stuff. And so, there was just no one there back then. So that was neat. This is Benji on his porch looking up from his house. Again, no one was staying there yet. It was just me. It was like one of the first guests. So it was just neat to see it like before it turned into Benji's house.
Yeah.
But he was just a kid. It was just a neat place. There's Jack with the tongue. Like, again, just a silly Grom. I don't know, like his documentary will be really cool to watch.
Yeah.
Again, there's a guy getting barreled at pipe just right off Benji's porch. This was like a 35mm camera. Like, it's just not even trying, There's Benji when he was just a kid. Like, he was still writing for Linden. He wasn't on Rusty yet or anything.
Oh, wow.
And that was the little kitchen. Dude, that was a little house, like basically 2-bedroom house. And so Benji and his brother Jason shared a room, and then Barbara and Bob had their room. And I think they had a daughter, Summer. She was staying there too. I don't know where she stayed, but dude, us showing up to stay at his house, I feel so bad for Benji now. Like, we were just fuckfaces who were like, "Let me stay at your house," and it's like, that's his house. He was a child. Like, dude, poor guy. Like, all of us coming by. There's another great one of Jack's face. Stopping the fucking fan with his tongue, dude. It's insane.
That's funny.
Again, history could have been so different. There's a Benji, and I don't know if you ever remember a guy named Jorma Beckstrom.
Yeah.
Great surfer. He was on 17. He was a really good surfer. And Steve Yinger, who went on to, I think, sell houses or something. He owns Solid Surf back in the day.
Okay.
And then kind of one of my earlier photos, me and Skip. I think I was like 19.
Oh, what a great photo.
Yeah, Skip was like maybe just turning 50, Yeah, that's kind of it. There's some like Washington Street skate parks that are getting built and stuff, like just early day shit. But
So
yeah,
fun.
It's just neat because it's like there's so many different eras. Like, a kid growing up in PB surfing, and then it's the skateboarding thing, and the skate park, and then the magazine, and I just got to do some really great, fun stuff that never was my intent. It just sort of like, you do stuff long enough, these opportunities come up. So I feel real lucky to have got to do what I got to do when I got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip because it doesn't really exist the same way anymore.
No.
Like there's no magazine.
Yeah.
Like, early on we were trying to do the original Surf Skate TV show with Benji and his parents. STV is what it was called. So before Blue Torch or Fuel and all that, like
right.
Benji's parents had the idea to do like the first Surf Skate Snow TV show. And I still have like the first VHS in the garage, but like there's a Tom Curran part that no one's ever seen that Al Merrick filmed all in Santa Barbara. Like this is like peak Curran 82 like shit going on the world tour. Like Joe Curran is the only one who has that footage besides this VHS tape.
Wow.
And in it too, Kelly had a part, like all this killer like throwaway footage that Taylor had. Like there's all this neat stuff that was on this thing. And then Peter King started working for him, and Blair on the Air, little Blair Marlin, like all these guys worked for STV. So again, the Weatherly thing kind of started before even the Pipeline House, like with this STV thing, and then to Pipeline there, and then after. So
how cool!
A lot of neat things. Like just a lot of people are trying shit. Kind of back to that bandwagon era. Like just there's so much. We were all trying to find our place because we didn't fit in with the Quicksilvers and Billabongs, and those were all ran by industry older guys that were like fucking gatekeepers, you know?
Yeah.
So we were all like, what do we do? Hence why you saw such a cool thing in the 90s of people just starting their own thing. Counterculture or whatever these little brands were. People are doing all this cool shit.
I love it.
Yeah, it was neat. You know, Ezekiel and 17, like everyone was trying to make their own mark. It's really hard to like, again, being around it back then, like I remember Bob Hurley coming in telling us how Billabong was not going to open Nordstrom. Like we're committed to the core shop.
Yeah.
And like 2 weeks later, they were Nordstrom. And I don't think it was his decision, but it's like it happened, and he was running Billabong North America.
Yeah.
And it just was like, damn, dude, like that is the first stone that got thrown to like, oh, outside of surf retail, now our thing is moving past us. We made it cool. You've topped out at how much you could sell to us, and now you're going mainstream. So they did that for a few years, and then it was like the San Diego type shops, and then it was direct, and you're like, whoa. So all these little shops were just slowly getting left in the dust. And that was the beginning of how it all became, like why everything fell apart for so many companies and shops and everything. It's just the distribution model. Like instead of keeping it core and being happy making 20 million a year, everyone had to make 200 million. And how do you make that? Well, you got to blow it all up. So it was hard, like watching that happen, not only with surf, but skate did the same thing. And so when I had skate, you know, you work real close with a shoe brand to make it cool. Then they sell to the mall shops. Kids don't come to your shop. You go out of business, or you're going out of business. Then I guess I'll sell Nike because they give me terms. And hence why Nike and Adidas and New Balance took over the space.
Right. They
worked with little shops to go, here's exclusivity, here's your profit margin, here's your net 90.
Yeah.
And dude, all these skate brands who are like, used you, moved past you, and then they're like, dude, why don't you support us? And you're like, fuck you, you're part of the problem.
Right.
That's how we got to where we got. It's so gnarly. And you know, now we got to basically start all over. Hence why I'm doing what I do this way, or you're doing what you're doing that way.
Right.
That old model, you can't do with those same old brands.
No.
Like it's just so different. So yeah, watching it all go down is where I got really bummed at the industry side of things.
Yeah.
You know, because like you need me and then you don't. And I do everything I could to make it cool. We're finally getting good business together. Then you just step over you to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the dollar for the guy who started it. Like high five to Bob. Like he stayed a great dude. He made his money. I love Bob Hurley.
Yeah.
I don't hate him at all. I think he did exactly what he was hoping to do. It made a rad company, helped a lot of people along the way, and is now doing the next thing.
Right.
But it's like there's a lot of other people that just showed up. They didn't own the company. They blew up the company. They got paid at the back end and just went to do it again and again and again. And you're like, you just sold out our whole culture and this thing that we all love to make a buck for you. And all of us don't have anything to show for it. Now you can't sponsor my kid anymore. You don't sponsor events. You don't help out the shops.
Yeah.
You just took and didn't give back anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened with the things we love is capitalism. Just they turned it into some commodity. It's a widget.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hurts, you know, because it's like, well, this is so personal to you and to so many and how it changed lives. And now it's just a commodity. And you're like, fuck. But it's a trip to see like all these non-endemics who've come into the space because we let them. They are the only ones now who have money to sponsor your athletes.
Right.
It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, that evolution of the whole industry has just been a wild thing to watch.
Yeah.
You know? Like being old enough to like, oh, like from where it was starting to like now when it's kind of over and changing. You're like, wow, that's a long, weird ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this? I don't know. Wishing you a great birthday. Wow. Yeah, Skip and Donna and Leroy. So this is like, God, probably my 16th, 17th birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
No wonder I kept that. But yeah, that's like a neat Chumash Indian tile or something. Where's
cool.
the PD sticker? Yeah, I'll show you some other. Oh, wait. Yeah.
How rad.
Yeah, they had a little shop on Cass Street. And then that's the old surf shop that's Skip going to the bathroom. I caught him coming out of the bathroom. He's like, oh, shit. Oh, there's like
my first custom surfboard, Pacific Drive.
Sick.
Yeah, old Boysen.
Look at that Howland. That looks fun these days.
Yeah, it took forever to get, and he put pink fins on it, so I was so bummed. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
damn,
back
dude,
then you're like,
like
oh,
pink
man.
fins. Why'd you do that to me? I don't think I ever got a Boysen again after that.
Couple fun ones.